It's a slow process, and I've never been one for patience. I guess my years in the military, I just, I want to get on with it, goddamn it. I want the truth. Tell me now. Don't give me any of this manure. And, for example, I just pulled a book out of my bookshelf here, a book by Richard Haynes, who is a retired NASA scientist. Richard's a PhD, spent 30 years working for NASA. He wrote a beautiful book called CE5, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. I think little bits and pieces like that, as well as your work, Art Bell's work, are bringing it out slowly. But don't expect your government to do this in any kind of a semi-official or unofficial way. The story is just too damn big, Lou.
I'll tell you, I look at a lot of the evidence and a lot of the people that are involved with this and some of the testimony that they bring, and I get, I'll be honest with you, I get this weird feeling, like, oh my God, this is incredible stuff here. And damn it, why can't somebody or an organization of people get Congress to have these hearings and to bring this out in the open? I mean, some of the things that I've heard, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Aurora Project.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if that's true, I mean, what the hell are we doing with these space shuttle things?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Let me tell you. Do you remember what Eisenhower said when he left office about the military-industrial complex? As he was leaving office, in his last public statement to the American people, he reminded them and warned them of something he called the military-industrial complex. And he could see it happening at his time while he was in office. And that was a development of a power block made up of the military and corporate organizations that support the military, like the aerospace industry. Lou, they have become so big unto themselves, and that the information that they have gotten and the technology they have very probably reverse engineered. There was no question about it that there was hardware retrieved at Roswell and the two other crashes. And these people have got a hold of this stuff. And they're making literally trillions of dollars, Lou, on what they've been able to glean from some of the alien hardware. And they're not about to let go of that. They are not about to let go of this piggy bank they've got that's literally unlimited. So you got a whole problem there of people who will not let any of this out. I've talked to military guys. I've had my in with these people because of my career. I've worked with them. I've worked for them. I've talked to many of them off the record, honestly. And I've had admirals and generals face-to-face admit to me that this is dynamite. It's not about to come out anytime soon. And first of all, there's too damn much money to be made from it. I'll give you a tiny example. Some years back, a four-star admiral retired. Bobby Ray Inman is his name. And Bobby Ray, as a four-star admiral, was the director of the National Security Agency. He had been the director of Central Intelligence. Well, he was on the inside of some of this stuff. And Bobby Ray, when he retired from the Navy, took his knowledge, took his connections, and took his expertise, and he went to work for an aerospace corporation. And what I'm trying to tell you is that they themselves are sitting on top of some of this information, and there's so much money to be made that they're not about to let it out and share it with the world. That's part of the problem right there. There's bucks to be made.
Oh, sure. Look at fossil fuels.
Well, there you are.
I mean, I keep having people on the show that talk about all these different alternate energies.
Yeah.
And I myself keep getting more and more pissed off that we're still with fossil energies. Oh, and I bring it up to some people, and they're like, oh, well, what am I supposed to do when this stuff comes out? Sell my car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's something that ticks me off, too. Stephen Greer and I have been friends for years, and that's one of the areas he's concerned about, is the fact that apparently there is a lot of information out there that we have alternative fuels, we have alternative energy, but there are a lot of very wealthy guys sitting on top of that. Oh, my goodness, the oil industry, Lou, you think they're going to let that out anytime soon? I spoke to a retired scientist who spent 30 years at Los Alamos. Now, this guy had no reason to blow smoke. He wasn't trying to impress me. He said flatly, he says, one of the things that I'm troubled by, he says, we conducted a controlled and sustained fusion reaction at Los Alamos 25 years ago. Now, do you know what fusion is?
Mm-hmm.
It's free energy forever for nothing. That is not about to be released. They did that at Los Alamos 25 years ago, a controlled and sustained fusion reaction. And fusion means we don't have to use atomic, we don't have to use fission, we don't have to use oil. It's the same power that powers the sun. And that has been available at least for 25 years. But they're sitting on that because if they released it, and the story that I've heard is that it would shake the world economy, and, the whole world economy's house at the moment. An oil baron.
That's it.
And, I don't like to get nasty and get into politics, but damn it, I've lived 74 years and I paid attention. I'm not terribly bright, but I'm not stupid either. And I know where the money is, and I know these guys are not about to let that come out. So that's part of the problem. And of course, the UFO thing, Lou, is even bigger. Because the theological implications of that is enough to blow you out of the water. That's one of the things the Brookings Institute talked about in 1961.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't tell the people. How can you tell the people that every major religion on this planet was probably orchestrated by an advanced intelligence from somewhere else? And it's been going on that long. I mean, good God, we've got Muslims and Jews butchering each other in Palestine. We've got Muslims and Hindus butchering each other in India and Pakistan. What would happen if the word came out that every major religion on the planet was orchestrated by an advanced intelligence from somewhere else?
Yeah, but they also have to look at the implications of not saying anything as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to wind up destroying ourselves over this and all these holy wars when, maybe something like this might actually bring the whole world to some sort of world peace or something.
Well, I have gotten to a point, I've just about given up on Washington, D.C. I've just about given up on our congressional mechanism where they might be able to pull something off. I'm afraid I've gotten a little cynical. I've kind of lost my view of the fact that democracies work and republics exist and all that good stuff. I've almost to a point, Lou, that I'm going to depend on the guys upstairs for making their appearance known here one day soon. And I think that in itself may shake things up enough that maybe some of the work would come out. And unless they decide to do that, I think we're stuck for another century here. Well, and I'm afraid we're stuck with a few more wars before it's over.
Well, it really sucks.
It does indeed. Yeah, I used to be a believer. I was very, I guess I was very optimistic, and I believed a lot of what I had been taught in school about the American way and the democratic system and all that, but I realized that really doesn't exist. Not anymore. Damn it, it hasn't really existed since 1913.
Well, I don't know.
We've been in harm's way ever since 1913.
As far as Roswell is concerned, do you believe that was more or less like a breaking